Welcome. This is the 7th video in our series of using Linux from your Windows desktop. You can see I've already started PuTTY, and in the previous videos we learned how to list the files we have in our computer with the ls command. You can see this time I have many more files to work with. We also learned how to use the -L option to get a long listing so that you get information about the file permissions, the owner and group, the file size, and the date it was last modified, as well as the file name. You can see with these really long names, it wraps. Okay. I didn't talk about any files except files that began with this minus sign that you see as the first byte on the line, the first character. There are some here that have a D as the first character. What does the D stand for? The D stands for directory. You may know the name folder on Windows. On Unix systems, it's not called a folder, it's called a directory. How can we navigate or move to a different directory? Well, first we need to know what directory we're in. To do that, you use the print working directory, pwd command. And that will tell you, right now, I'm in home John. So that's 2 levels down. You see that we have a directory named Zampaman. So we could cd or change directory into Zampaman. And when we did print working directory again, it'll show we're in home John Zampaman. And to change back to the John directory, which is 1 level up, we do cd ... is a shortcut, and it's the name of the parent directory. If we go back into Zampaman again, we could change to home John, and that will work. But the ... is shorter, easier to remember, and it just says go 1 level up to the parent directory. If I do it again and I check where I am with the print working directory, you'll see I'm in the home directory. And if we look, we'll see, oh, there are several different directories here, but we'd like to go back into John. So we've learned about the change directory command and how to move between directories. We could use the name of the directory. We could use the full name of a directory that starts with a slash. And we could use that ... to move around. On Windows, the paths look something like this. And that's what a Windows path to an application would look like. You notice that the separator between each folder and subfolder is the \# key. Well, on Unix systems, we use the / key, not the / key. And so just slash or cd slash, that's the root directory. Windows has a root directory for each drive, drive C, drive D, drive E. But on Unix, there's only one root directory called /. and everything is under that root directory. And if you look, you'll see there are several files in here. If we want to go back to our home directory where we log into the computer, I could type in home John, but that's a lot to type, and you often want to go back to your home directory, so there's a shortcut. You just say cd and no argument, and if you check, you'll see I'm back in my home directory. How do you know what your home directory name is? When you log on, you could do a pwd and it will tell you, or you could look at the home environment variable. On Windows, you might say something like this to get the same information. But on Unix, it looks like this. Home is the name of the environment variable, and the dollar left curly brace and the trailing right curly brace say, I don't want the word home, I want you to use the word home as the variable name and give me the value. And there are other things. Windows has a path, Unix has a path, and you can see on this machine our path looks very similar to what you'd see on Windows, but it uses forward slashes to separate components, you know, the folder or the subfolder or the subfolder. And it also uses colons to separate each one of these. It's hard for me to mark a colon with this cursor, but home John bin is the first place it will look, and then user local S bin, and then it will look in user local bin, and it will look in each of these when you type in some file name to run some program. ls is one of those programs we ran, and you might wonder, where is ls really? And on most systems it's here in /bin, but it doesn't have to be. Let's do a quick recap. We've learned about cd for change directory. We've learned about the forward slash as the separator between folders, subfolders, subfolders, which are really called directories, subdirectories in the Unix world. We've learned how to get environment variables. In a previous video I said you could just type set and it will list everything, but you can see that on this computer not only does it have variables, it has complete shell functions, lots of them. This is an Ubuntu machine and they love to use a lot of shell functions, so you get more than variables. You get all these many shell functions, so many that we can't see them all in the scroll back. But if you know the name of the variable, another variable we looked at in a previous video was PS1, which is what you see for your prompt, and you can notice the dollar is the prompt on this computer. I can change that by saying export PS1, and I could give it something else like oh, I don't know, hi mom, and now I have the hi mom prompt. The prompt is what is shown when the computer is ready for your input. So today in this video we've learned about change directory, print working directory, we've learned about folders, we've learned about using echo to see the value of environment variables. We've learned that just like Windows, there's a path and there's a home. We've learned that cd with no argument will take you home. Cd with a ... argument will take you to the parent directory one level up. We've learned that you can type the full path to a folder if you want to. We could go to home John Zappaman, Or we could just go here. CD slash will take us home. If you're in the root directory and you try to go to a parent, you just stay in the root directory. So CD takes me back home, and we've examined carefully quite a bit about moving around in the file system. Thank you for listening. Please come back for our next video.